Very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the fourth edition of Sports Tonight for the week, and so it promises to be fun-filled, action-packed, as always. Of course, on a Monday night, what we'll do on Sports Tonight, and what we're going to be doing tonight, is to review all those major events as they happened over the weekend, and of course, also preview some of the major events we're looking forward to this new week. Thank you once again for giving us this opportunity to walk into your homes and to share this time with you. It's a privilege, and we'll leave you with this promise. We will take advantage of it. We will not take you for granted. So thank you once again. My name is Tony Ibitoye. Let me introduce to you my partners on the program this Monday. They're going to be with me from start to finish. Tunde Koiki keeps his place on Sports Tonight. Good to have you, Tunde, on the show.
Thank you very much. You always start your best striker first.
And of course, on Mondays, Wole Phillips is always with us and is here again. He's been out for a while, but we're happy to have you back, Tunde. Kunle, I beg your pardon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I had a fantastic weekend.
Yeah,
and,
I'm sure you had a swell weekend.
A swell weekend because, there's so much speculation, rumors about whether the Nigerian Professional Football League
was going
will
to start
over the
not.
weekend. And, it was so good that it started at the end of the day, And,
Mixed fortunes for Nigerian clubs. We'll talk about it as well on the program tonight. In the CAF Champions League, Enyimba, when they saw...
they didn't conquer.
They didn't conquer. It was
they
a
won.
very... Yeah, they won the game.
They won, but they didn't conquer.
But they didn't conquer. We'll talk about it also on the program tonight. But in the CAF Confederations Cup, it was 100% for our clubs. The two clubs are forging on. They've just moved into the second round. But for how long can they go on? How far will they go this season? That's in the CAF Confederation Cup. We're talking about Bayelsa United and Warri Wolves, two South teams. And we will get you footages of how they were able to get through their opponents. Bayelsa United overcoming Konzo of Congo, and Warri Wolves overcoming Union Douala of Cameroon. We'll try to get you that as well. And of course, Kunle said it, the Globe Premier League 2013-2014 season kicked off finally amidst controversies about teams being withdrawn and games being moved and all of that. We'll talk about it as well, get you the results and see how far we'll go. Are those clubs coming back? Are they out for good? What's the way out for Giwa FC and Nembe City going forward? And of course, National League is going on well, going fine. Games are being played. The hype is good. The quality of football is also good. So we'll fill you in as well with what happened over the weekend in the Nigerian National League. We'll touch on the Nationwide League as well on the program tonight. A little bit of grassroots for you. And then, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, big match days in the UEFA Champions League. The last 8 teams now in the UEFA Champions League. And so we will talk about the games to be played tomorrow and Wednesday and talk about all of that as well. Of course, we will look back at what happened over the weekend in England, the FA Cup. We're down to the last 4 teams in the FA Cup, and there was a major upset that happened. Manchester City falling at home to Wigan Athletic. Thunder striking at the same point twice. They say it doesn't happen, but it has happened for Wigan against Manchester City. So we'll talk about all of this on the program this Monday night. But gentlemen, let's move away from football for a while. Let's start off football today. Let's start with what happened for most of last week. It was all about the IAAF World Indoor Championship taking place in Poland and what was going to come out of it for Nigeria and all of that. But the story of what happened in Poland, you all know. We went, we saw, we came back empty-handed. You are laughing. I mean, that's the story. We qualified for some finals.
Yeah,
but that was how close we came. This is the 60 meters.
Yeah, 60 meters final. Women won by Fraser and Shelley Price, world and Olympic 100 meters champion. Blistering start by her. Muriel Ahouri of Cote d'Ivoire came second. And I can't remember the name of the person who came third. But Nigeria's Gloria Sunu came a distant 7th in the final.
Get to the finals was just good enough for her, but not on the podium.
So sad. I think this
was this the closest we came. We also got to some finals as well.
Yes, that's for Regina George,
Regina
who
George.
actually
But she withdrew?
due to injury, according to the feelers we're getting from Poland. They said he actually got injured on Friday, and as a result of that, he could not actually
Yeah, I think we
come
talked
out.
about it on Friday night on the show.
Oh,
Someone sent a message that she had pulled out because at that time when we were doing the program on Friday night, she was still to qualify for the next round. But then somebody sent a message that she pulled out. But 4x4 for the women ended without a medal. No medal for Nigeria.
None.
And that's not the kind of picture you want to paint for 160 million Nigerians. We want to go to tournaments like this. Well, indoor, so we didn't go with a large contingent.
We only went to 12 athletes who participated in 4 events. But I mean, that is hogwash as far as I'm concerned. If a country like Djibouti
had a gold medal,
Nigeria has no, we have no excuse for not winning at least a bronze medal. And it just goes to show you just how bad things are and how far we are falling.
How far behind we are now.
And when you look at the fact that at the last Olympics, so much was said when we came back from Olympics about how we wanted to reposition, re-engineer. So many, big words were used. High performance directors were engaged. I'm not blaming them because they've just come on board. They're barely 2 or 3 months old.
And we should be concerned about the long term.
Exactly.
For how long are we going to suffer?
But just to show you
performances like this,
how bad
we begin to get it right.
How bad this is. 8 years ago in Valencia was the last time that Nigeria won a gold medal. That was won any medal. That was Olusoji Fasuba
in the 60 meters.
Almost a decade ago.
Was the last time we got anything out of the World Indoor.
Olusoji Fasuba has since moved on to other things.
She is now somewhere
He is now doing something entirely different.
Maybe he has forgotten that he even ran for Nigeria at some point in his life.
And it's just so bad that 10 years later, we still haven't been able to replace athletes like that. That is exactly what it means.
Well, I think it's just sad and disheartening when we see situations like this, Nigeria participating in big events of this nature, and we end up not winning anything. It happened the last time out in the Olympic Games, and it's so sad because this athletics has always been our fortress before in the past. I remember back in the days in the Barcelona Olympics in 1992, where we had Falila Togunkoya then winning the first individual medal for Nigeria, coming third in the 400 meters. We've won in the 4x100, 4x400 meters. We've always been the force to reckon with, even against the United States of American team, the Jamaican team. We are always a difficult customer to all of them. But right now, it's so sad and disheartening. And, we keep hearing the same thing. We are going to go back to the drawing board, just like Tunde said. We're going to make corrections. But how far can we go? The Commonwealth game is just around the corner. How are we going to fare in the Commonwealth game?
All right, that's food for thought for us. We went to the World Indoor and came back with absolutely nothing. And the challenge is for us to see what we need to do to make amends as we look forward to the Commonwealth Games that will be taking place in a few months from now, and see if we can salvage this situation and bounce back to winning ways. All right, let's go on to the next part of our discussion, and this time I want to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Of course, no longer news that they played out a goalless draw against Mexico in a friendly. What is good news is that Leon Balogun, the guy who got injured during that game, will no longer require surgery on the broken foot that he had. But he's still going to be out for about 10 weeks. And I don't know if that bodes well for him, because by the time he's back, we're just knocking on the door of the World Cup. Maybe that will still give him a chance to fight for a place in Nigeria's World Cup squad. But the story I want to talk about on Sports Tonight today is not really about the players. It's about promises and promises and promises. On Friday, the story came out that the Super Eagles wanted to remind some of those who promised money after they won the Nations Cup in South Africa in 2013. Of course, particular reference to Africa's wealthiest man, Aliko Dangote, who promised $1 million bonus to the team for winning the Nations Cup. And since the Nations Cup victory in 2013, the players still haven't gotten the money. But the good news is that Aliko Dangote, reported to be Africa's richest man, has said, look, now it's time to pay. I've always wanted to pay. I just needed a contact where I could